Smiling faces. Hello, Tina. There's
Hello.
a smiling face that I always enjoy seeing. Hello, Jess. Rob, nice to see you. Nicole. We've got a few other. Oh, hello, Sharon. How are you? Good to see you. This is always my favourite part, seeing everyone saying hello. Welcome to the Friday morning pep talk, designed to put a pep in your step. There's Jenny. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. And we'll just get a few more people joining in. So I'll just get Julie and Anjani to keep an eye on that waiting room. So Friday morning, woohoo, we are ready for a weekend and a great day ahead. I'd like to start by acknowledging that the lands we meet on today are the traditional lands of the Kaurna people, and we respect their spiritual relationship with country. And I particularly also want to welcome Melody Horrell. Give us a wave, Melody.
Thanks for saving us. You know,
Can I just get everyone to mute that? Craig Dennis, I think you might need to mute.
All right, see you, mate.
All right, I'll just get those of you online to mute, if possible, please. And Pilar Lopez, welcome to you. Give us a wave.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone.
And of course, the amazing Anjani Amrit is with us as well. So our two speakers today who are sharing an insight, Melody Horrell. Some of you may know Melody because she used to be based here in South Australia, now in Victoria. Melody is an award-winning author, and I'm sure she's going to tell you a bit more about that. And an award-winning environment science journalist and a former television presenter. And I think we can all remember Melody when you were on air, and you were also a documentary producer. So absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Pilar is the founder and CEO at House to Grow, which is a not-for-profit organisation which she's going to share some information about. She's also an author, an international author and speaker, and an executive coach as well. So you've got many hats there, Pilar, and I can't wait to hear more from you today. Everyone, the chat box is open, so we encourage you to put your questions in the chat box. I'm going to get our speakers to introduce themselves. Then they're going to share a leader's insight, and then we're going to open up for Q&A. And Anjani will also be summarising the learnings from our fabulous speakers today. So let's start with you, Melody. I'm going to hand over to you. Who is Melody Horrell in a minute?
Okay, right. I guess I wear many hats as well. I am a journalist by trade, as you know, and spent many years on TV. But before that, I co-founded a not-for-profit in South Australia to raise awareness about Adelaide's dolphins. I was involved with the dolphins at university, and that led me to start this not-for-profit to raise awareness about them. And that followed me really throughout my career and really shaped my career moving forward, and was something that's very close to my own heart. When I ended up leaving TV, I worked as a media and comms manager for the Bureau of Meteorology, weirdly enough, because I liked the weather so much, I decided to go and work for them. And then I found out what was happening with the Adelaide's dolphins, and that they were in strife, and I thought it was about time I shared my story, which was a terrifying thing for me to do, but probably the best thing I've done in my life. And there's a lot of learnings from those dolphins, and actually the whole book publishing journey that I'd like to share with you. So I guess I don't try and categorise myself as anything other than someone who's had an interesting life and has had many challenges, including growing up with domestic violence. And I'd really want to share what I've learnt through that journey and inspire others, and also raise the issue with the dolphins in the Port River. So I guess it's two-pronged, really. in a
Thanks,
nutshell.
Melody.
So that's
We'll
me.
jump into your leaders' insight shortly. Pilar, can I just get you to do a little brief overview about who you are?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this morning pep talk. So yeah, as you mentioned, my name is Pilar, and I want to share something interesting and unique about myself. I hope so. So I was born into humble family in Granada, Spain, and growing up with pretty much nothing in my family. But despite the challenge, I always have insatiable curiosity about human beings and their potential. So I spent the past 2 decades studying courage, vulnerability, empowerment, and happiness. And now I am the founder of House to Grow. House to Grow is a charity that empowers people through education for life, holistic health, and well-being. So I am also passionate advocate for women in leadership and gender equality. But maybe what makes me truly unique is my commitment to capture the stories of everyday life. I believe that everyone has a story to tell. As an international author, I have 2 books. One is called How to Create an Amazing Life. And the second one is Things I Know Are True. Both are in Spanish and in English. Yeah, so these books are not just about me. Basically, they are about the real world people I have encountered. So if you are looking for inspiration, empowerment, I invite you to join me on this journey of discovery and growth. So that's me.
Lovely. Thank you, Pilar. I'm looking forward to hearing your insight. Yes, so both speakers today are authors, so we can share the links to their books. I've actually got Melody's here. I don't know if I bring it up. There it is, A Dolphin Called Jock. So Melody, let's hand over to you now for your 3-minute leaders insight.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'd like to share is a little bit of my personal journey and what I've learned from that, and hopefully it can, you can get something out of it, and that's really what this book is about as well. I grew up in a household which was it was racked with domestic violence. Violence was just a part of my life growing up, and I was always told that I'd never amount to anything. So when my mother finally got up the courage to leave my father, a whole series of events occurred after that, and it ended up with my father actually in jail. I had to testify against him because I was there at the attack where he attacked my mother. I guess I went through a period where I was completely adrift. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to move forward. I didn't feel like I had the courage. And that's when I met up with a group of dolphins in the Port River and learned a great deal from them. And as unbelievable as it sounds, my interactions with those dolphins actually taught me a lot of things, including courage. And I think that one of the most important things I've learned in my life is that you really do have to allow yourself to be vulnerable and have the courage to tell your story. Stories are incredibly powerful. I've told stories my entire life, and they really can change things. And I think the way we inspire and lead is through our individual stories and sharing those individual stories and learnings. So that's something I'm incredibly passionate about. The other thing that I learned along the way was really never underestimating the power of your passion. Passion is what's driven me my entire life. I haven't always made great decisions, but it really has been the driving force behind everything I've done. And to this point, actually, even writing the book, which was an interesting journey and a difficult journey in many ways, but I had the passion to tell that story, and that's really what's driven me. Also, I think it's okay to be vulnerable. I think it's okay to say that I am not perfect and I'm going to make mistakes. And as a human being, I have a lot to learn and a lot to share. So allowing yourself that vulnerability was an important thing for me to learn, and an important thing for me to share, because through that vulnerability, you actually can share your story, but you actually have to make yourself a little bit vulnerable to do that. The other thing, I think it's really, you've got to be brave no matter what you do in life. I've learned that you really are at your bravest when you face your fears, and fears are very powerful things, but finding that courage and bravery to face that and move forward is really important. And as I said, I think there's so many learnings that I really just can't put into this short segment today. But I think you just don't have to be defined by your circumstances in life. And I think that's really something I've learned. It's sometimes easy to say, well, this has happened to me and I've been through this trauma, but really, I've never considered myself a victim. I've always considered myself a victor, and have been really conscious about not being defined by the person I was growing up and moving forward. So I don't know how much longer I've got here and how much more I can talk about, but these are the things that have really held me in good stead through my career. And I guess also there have been times during my career when I've really second guessed myself, and I haven't had the belief in my own ability really to do things that scared the hell out of me. But that passion drove me forward, and that willingness to be vulnerable was something that really helped me along the way as well. So I guess if I can impart anything from my own journey, and particularly through this book, it's that you don't have to be defined by what you are. Face those fears, because you can move forward, you can move on, and if you believe in your passion, it can take you anywhere. And I truly believe that. If you'd have told me even, I don't know, a year, 18 months ago, that I would have actually finally written a book and it would have been published and endorsed by Jane Goodall and going overseas to the US and Canada, I actually wouldn't have believed you. So never be afraid to take that first step and just jump in, because what's the worst that could happen? And you can open up whole new worlds if you have the courage to take that first step. And that's basically the way I've lived my life. It's one step at a time, but taking those steps that are uncomfortable and scary and have forced me to be vulnerable, but they've been super important.
Fantastic. Thank you, Melody. I am not a victim, I'm a victor. What a fabulous sentence. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing so passionately and vulnerably your story. Pilar, I'll now hand over to you to share your leader's insight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Melody. I am very impressed about your story, because I love stories as well, like you. We share something. I have been experiencing domestic violence when I was a child as well, at home. I have been close to die 3 times in my life, got divorced twice, changed career 4, changed countries 3, so many circumstances and challenges in my life. And to me, this topic actually means a lot, because without this inner strength, I think I couldn't survive. And after these 27 years or 20 or 30 years almost working in personal development as a coach and other roles, so I think that is one of the most important things that we have. So for me, inner strength is about resilience, determination, as Melanie mentioned before, and courage. So basically that lies with each of us. So it's the ability to push through difficult times and come out stronger on the other side. So I would like to share with you some of my habits and the tips, if we can say that, that we teach to our audience, clients, and participants to our programs. So basically, one of the things that helped me a lot is to have clear goals in life, have a direction, know where I want to go, because that gives you this sense of stronger, because when you feel lost, you don't know where you are going to go. So that makes you weak. So set clear goals. That's very important. And identify what you want to achieve and break it down into a small smaller steps. So that will help you build momentum and gain confidence in your ability. That's something that really helped me. Another thing is practice self-care. That can sound very obviously, but not everybody is conscious about that. And that is super important. Take care of your physical, emotional, and mental health. That's basic. That means getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, and taking time for you to relax and recharge. It's something that I have to fight every day with myself. I have to recognize, because being manager of House to Grow is I'm very busy all the time. I'm traveling for my conference. I'm writing books. I'm doing that. The other, I have a family. I am a grandmother. So it's a lot of things, a lot of commitments. But I have realized that how important is that to build this inner strength that we are talking today. So another thing super important is to surround yourself with supportive community of people. That's very important. Because all have bad days, difficult circumstances, but if we are surrounded with a supportive community, that's make the difference most of the time. So seek out people who believe in you and encourage you every day. I always say that I don't like to have friends. I like to have fans because these kind of people that always are there for you. So this can be, as I mentioned, friends, family, or a mentor or a coach that can offer you guidelines and support. Because when we have people who believe in us and encourage us, we can push ourselves further that we ever thought possible. Another important tip I want to share with you is embrace challenges. Go out your comfort zone, because even it can feel a bit scary, but it's when you really find your strength and your power, when you are outside your comfort zone. So instead of avoid challenging, embrace them as opportunities to grow and learning. This will help you build resilient and develop growth mindset. So that's very important. And the last thing I would like to share with you today is your mindset. So stay positive. Sometimes it's hard, I know, but stay positive is your election. It's an option, believe it or not. So whatever happened to you, you always can decide what are going to be your attitude in front of these circumstances. And you have the power to decide if you want to be positive, if you want to be negative, if you want to be angry, if you want to accept it. So always is your choice. So focus on the positive aspect of your life and cultivate a positive attitude. That's super important, because this will help you stay motivated and optimistic, even in the face of adversity. So, and the last one is invest in your personal development. That for me was the key. When I start knowing who I was, what was my strength, how much I can really do. So your life change completely. So the best investment you can do in your life is invest in your personal development. That's always my message for all the entrepreneurial women that we have in one of our programs called Watering Woman 3. This is a program that we are running at the moment, a free program for entrepreneurial women. And we always say to them, invest in your personal development, because you will, as you grow, your business will grow as well. So that's very, very important. Yeah, and I don't want to finish this talk without asking you something. And I take this offer from from the organizers of this fantastic encounter today. We are looking for coaches, for women coaches that want to support our program Watering Woman 3. So if you are on a business coach or on a coach happy to support other women that are starting their businesses, so we are in this point now that we are looking for coaches to deliver 6 sessions for each woman. So please email me if you are interested and you want to support us. And thank you very much for listening today.
Thank you, Pilar. Wonderful messages there. Anjani, I'll hand over to you to just do a summary, please.
Thank you, ladies. So Pilar, let's start with, Melody. Melody talked about allow yourself to be vulnerable. Tell your own story. Be brave and share your story. Don't underestimate the power of your passion. It's okay to be vulnerable and say, I'm not perfect. That's a big one for women. You've got to be brave and find courage and bravery to face trials and move forward. Don't have to be defined by your circumstances in life. And I'm a victor, not a victim. You also talked about jumping in and taking the first step, and that you can open up a new world when you have courage to take that first step. It is uncomfortable and scary, and I can attest to that, but it takes you everywhere. And then Pilar, you talked about inner strength and resilience, determination and courage, that it's all within us. And the tips you had were clear goals. I loved how you said if you don't have a clear goal, then you're lost. it's obvious, but it's so important. A lot of us just kind of bob around like driftwood, just going about the day in the same routine. So I love that. Self-care, yeah, we can talk about it, but do we actually do it? Sleep, food, exercise, time out to relax and recharge. If you're not having that in your day, then you're not having a balanced day, and it doesn't work. Surround yourself with supportive community. I love how you said, have fans, not friends, because friends, you know, they can be up and they can be down. Embrace challenges, get out of your comfort zone and your mindset. It's your choice, your option. Whatever happened to you, you decide what you can do with it, and then invest in your personal development. So there's some great tips. For me, I want to share that I too come from a family of domestic violence. So it's interesting that the 3 speakers here today all came from a family of domestic violence. And for me, it really shaped my early childhood growing up. You know, I never felt good enough. And I got into that whole perfectionism thing where I just drove myself to succeed, to cover up the shame that I was holding inside. And for me, it was only when I did the personal development work, when I started looking in, when I started nurturing myself, when I was able to really accept myself and my story and where I come from and let go of the shame, then that was the turning point for me. And it was the personal development work. It was when I took myself to India. I stopped working as a corporate lawyer and I took myself to India and I studied with yogis, and they trained me in self-reflection. And they trained me in the difference between my outer self and my inner self. And I think we all work hard on our outer self, you know, that mask that we present to the world. This is who I am. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. But really, it's the inner self that we have to tap into, because that's where our power is. That's where our unlimited potential is. That's where we unleash our limitless power. It's within us, and it's within us how we can manage our thoughts, how we manage our emotions, how we manage our energy during the day. If we control that, we control the world. And that's what I learned from the yogis. And you know, that's what I love sharing with people. It's that inner development piece that if once we master that, we tap into limitless, unbounded potential. And it's got nothing to do with the outer self, that mask that we wear, and everything to do with what's inside. So it's all an inside job.
Thank you, Anjani. I welcome, we've got a couple of minutes for some questions, so please feel free to pop your question in the chat box. Just picking up on that point, Anjani, this, I'm going to ask a question to, I'll start with you, Melody. This inner strength, we talk about our inner strength, or Pilar also mentioned about you've got a choice around your positive, you can choose your positive mindset. But it's a trigger point or that choice. What do you do that gets you to switch gears? How do you get yourself going from, you know, one mindset to another mindset? Is there some little tip that you've got that you use?
I think about where I've come from, actually. I think about how many times throughout my life I've been at a stage where something's terrified me and what step I took to move forward from that. And I think it's really good for us all to reflect on our achievements, whether they be personal, small, large, and not to forget those. You can easily move through life without actually stopping and thinking about, wow, you know, I managed to do this and I'm proud of myself. So it's reminding yourself about those moments where you're proud of yourself, I think. And for me, that if I'm in a bit of a funk and I just can't see the way forward, or I'm worried, or I'm scared about taking that step, I think to myself, well, you've taken these steps before, Mel, and look at what you've achieved from taking that step. So in many ways, you have to be your own personal cheer squad. You can have lots of people and fans cheering for you, but at the end of the day, don't forget to remind yourself how great you are, actually, and those achievements you've made, because give yourself a pat on the back. And we don't do that often enough. We do it with others, but sometimes we need to stop and think that, hey, you know, I've done okay, and I've moved and I've grown, and I've learnt how to become resilient.
Thank you, Melody. So I guess a little takeaway for everyone today is go and write down a couple of things that you're really proud of. It could be just this week that you've done something great, or written a book or whatever it is. So please, everyone, write that down. You can start putting it in the chat box if everyone wants to share it. Pilar, we've only got a short time, but just, you talked about that mindset. It's a choice. What's one little thing you can do to switch the, to trigger the change in your mindset?
Well, for me, I am an action person, so the answer is gonna be very easy. So I like the Nike slogan that says, just do it. And I think that if we stick in the mind, thinking, analyzing, terrified, we never will be able to change this mind. So basically, just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. Because when you do it, you realize, wow, I did it. But if you start thinking too much, you end up spending hours about this impossibility and giving you reason to don't do it. So basically, just do it. That's all. Action.
Just do it. There we go, everyone. Just do it. So everyone, write down one or two things you're proud of, and one thing you're going to do today that you're just going to go and do. That would be a great outcome for a little pep in your step from this Friday morning pep talk. Thank you so much to our speakers. Thank you, Anjani, Wishing you all a happy weekend, and if you could just complete the poll, we love your feedback. That's how we learn and share. And we look forward to seeing you all next month. And of course, SA Leaders is all about the community that we're building. So just don't forget, who is your community that you're that's around you, because you're not alone. No one here is alone. I think that's very important for us all to remember. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. And Sharon mentioned a great app called Pep Talk Her, which encourages you to capture and collate your small successes. So thank you, Sharon, for sharing that. That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much for the invitation. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.